Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of the IBL Inside Pitch. My name is Mark Pare, alongside Neil Srivastava, Braeden Ferrington, and our special guest, newly acquired by the Guelph Royals. He's already got a couple of appearances in. He is a former IBL champion, a multi-time IBL All-Star before the All-Star game became a thing. Sorry about that, Chris. And, of course, a former podcaster with the Intercounty Baseball League with his insights with Inside Intercounty. Please welcome to the show, Chris Lazar. Chris, how's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm gonna have to kick a little rust off the tires. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
good to be back on one of these.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you're used to all of this kind of stuff. It's only been a couple of years, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure,
but
there's
I was
not
used to
as
being
much.
on. Yeah, I mean, I was used to being on your side of the mic though, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
not used to being on
hmm
this side of things. So
Yeah. Well, exactly.
it'll be interesting. I'm excited for it. I know we've been trying to connect on this for a couple weeks now, so I'm glad we were finally able to get here.
What's the adjustment been like, coming back after, the injury and, obviously, the recovery process and everything and getting back into the regular swing of things, if you will.
Yeah, I think it's more just figuring out what this version of my body can do and what it can't do. How many pitches is too many pitches? How many days do I need in between outings? Things like that. So this year I'm a lot more prepared for it, and I think my body is a lot more, or my arm at least, is a lot more like healed, so to speak, compared to where it was last year. Where last year I'm like almost rehabbing and trying to pitch at the same time. I'm kind of doing both, right? Whereas this year it's
Yeah.
kind of nice. I've been able to start from where everyone else starts and not start from behind. So
Yeah.
that's been nice.
Do you find yourself holding yourself back at times too? You just okay, like you just okay. I don't want to hurt myself again. So I'm just like in the mindset. Okay, if I throw it too hard, I overthrow it, overdo it. I'm gonna hurt myself again, or is that kind of past now?
No, I mean, even like back then, like last year, and even when I was pitching with it, that was never something
Yeah.
that really crossed my mind because, like, I first of all, like, I don't throw that hard to begin with. I can't be out there babying it. Like,
No.
I gotta throw with 100% conviction, even if my body's
hmm
not at 100%. Was I aware that I wasn't at 100% certain times? Of course. Like, I felt it. But, like,
Yeah.
even last year, right, there were a couple times where I went out there at less than 100%. And then it set me back a little bit later, which like I wish I didn't do, but that's just kind of like how I've always been, right? Like I don't turn down the ball,
hmm
so
No.
So,
So going through the whole injury process, just for the viewers side of it, because they might not know what the ins and outs of the whole rehab stuff would be. What what was kind of going through your mind, and what made you want to come back? Because you've had a great career, you didn't need to come back.
yeah, well, I felt like I did. And the reason was because and like really the only true reason I came back, besides the fact that I love to play baseball, like that's a given. Um,
hmm
but like in terms of accomplishments, like the one thing I hadn't accomplished was to win a championship that mattered. That's what I always tell people. Like, yeah, I won,
Yeah.
the Mercyhurst tournament or whatever when I was 17U or like whatever
hmm
else, like those kinds of things. But like I've never won something that like people actually care about, and that like I would actually
Yeah.
care about, like the ultimate goal. I've never finished the season with the ultimate goal. And so that was ultimately the thing that like motivated me the most. In terms of what was going through my head, like throughout, I guess it depends on when you're asking, right? Because that's like a 2 year time period. There was a lot of
Sure.
different stages of it, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
right off the bat, it's you know you're so worried that every movement you make is going to like hurt your shoulder more. And so like
hmm
I was consulting with my friends who like also played baseball and also got the same type of surgery, asking them kind of like, hey, like I'm 6 weeks in, this is how I feel, is that normal? And so like that was kind of how I gauged it,
Yeah.
because I'm not in college anymore. I don't play affiliated or anything like that. Like I don't have a training staff looking after me 24/7 where it's like they can tell me
hmm
where I'm at. I kind of have to
Yeah.
gauge it myself. Um, so yeah, like it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of times where you felt like you were never going to get better, a lot of times where you felt ready to go and you can't even pick up a baseball yet. So it really varied like throughout.
Is there a moment in that process, I mean, right before playing once again in 2024, where you kind of knew, okay, maybe coming out of maybe a session or whatnot, maybe a couple months before, where you realized, okay, I'm good, let's do this kind of thing. Like you didn't really feel any kind of like setbacks, if you will.
Yeah, I would say it was the first time I threw live indoors in Barrie, where it was like James Anderson was there, Ryan Rio was there, and there were a couple of other guys, I think a couple junior guys or whatnot, and I threw like 2 up downs of about like 10 to 15 pitches each. And yeah, like when I was able to sneak fastballs past Rio and make him look a little bit dumb on a slider every once in a while, the once in a blue moon that you can do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of when I knew I was like, okay, like I'm ready to go here. And like to be honest, like I felt that, and then the next day when I didn't feel like I was gonna pass out, or like when I could actually feel my arm, was also a nice indicator that I'm recovering well. So yeah, and then like in season, like after my first outing, I felt like I was back. I went 5 up, 5 down my first outing, and it was back in Hamilton where I started and where I had all that
Yeah.
success. Protecting
And
the 3-2
I think I
lead.
said something during that broadcast, just watching you back out there, and it's just like, man, he's shoving it up our butts. I didn't say that part on the air, but I was just like, I was so happy to see you back out there doing what you're good at doing, as far as that
Yeah, I
stuff goes.
appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where you're coming in and it was protecting a 3-2 lead for Frank Garces, who, like,
Yeah.
if anyone has played with Frank, they know that if you're the reason that it goes wrong, you're gonna know it. And so, whether
You're
you're a
gonna know it.
defender, whether
You
you're
better
the
be
next
careful where you
bullpen
sit on the
guy,
bus on the way back. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, man, like this is the spot you guys are gonna throw me in. But I was only supposed to go the 1 inning, and then I talked myself into going out and facing Berg and Duncan again. And then I struck
Yeah.
out Duncan, and that was when I was like, okay, like we're back, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Speaking of letting guys hear it, how much did you hear about it last year? You calling the Barrie Baycats average on the Inside Intercounty podcast.
Yeah, I mean, however much you think I heard it, I probably heard it more. So it was. And the thing is, when you're a reliever and you're down in the bullpen, people have time to tell you that
Oh, of
they
course
remember.
they walk out of their seats down the line to tell you about it in
Yeah.
full volume.
Yeah, it was funny. I had one of the ladies at the park, I forget which one, but one of them came up to me before and said, "I have a problem with you." Like right at the start of the year, she goes, "You were talking bad about our Baycats at the start of last season. I just want to set the record straight." And I was like, I'm sorry, like I'm apologizing, whatever. But it was never any bad blood or anything like that with
I can
the
imagine.
team or
I think I know. It's either one of two people. I'm not going to say their names because I just know it's either one or two people that I guarantee I know which one it is. But it's just like I know it's one of those two.
Yeah, you're probably right. So they but no, like Josh was always great about it. Like Josh made sure to like go out of his way and like make sure that I
Yeah.
know that it's water under the it's not even water under the bridge. Like it wasn't even a bad thing. They actually said it was the best thing that happened to them that season. It lit a fire under their ass. So that was yeah, but it was definitely a joke that was made a few times. It was something I was conscious of, something I was honestly worried about at the beginning, and so they went above and beyond to make sure that I didn't feel like that. So
I was always surprised there wasn't any if you don't like it, play better shirts out there. I was waiting for those ones.
If we ever started a merch store, the first 2 shirts would have been a Baycats average shirt, and that one. Those would have been the 2 shirts.
average cats or something, and
average cats.
that would have been the other one.
They so actually, Josh told me that they were thinking about making like playoff shirts that said #just_average on them, but it never ended up working out. But that was something they did consider doing, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Of course, they had a great season, making it to the final. The next year, you come aboard and 10-0 in the playoffs. You won a championship. What was that moment like for yourself, realizing that you're an IBL champion?
Yeah, well, obviously, like they didn't win it the year before, and then I show up, they go 10-0. Like I was clearly the difference maker. Like
the difference,
has nothing to do with Frank Garces. Has nothing to do with Brett Hernandez. Nothing to do with any of those guys. The guy who pitched 1 inning in the finals, he was the difference maker.
Difference maker.
But
no, the Mentos, the fresh maker. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man. No, it was awesome. Like I thoroughly enjoyed my time in Barrie. Last year was so much fun. Like we had so many like ups and downs throughout the season. Like we knew how much talent we had, and we knew that no one else was really paying attention to it, or like underestimating it, I should say, throughout the season, thinking like, oh, like yeah, they're good, like kind of the way that I did the year before. But we knew what we had in that room. When the moment we knew that it was like, okay, like we're about to go crazy here, was when we were in Welland, and it was, I think, their dodgeball night, which ironically they were wearing Average Joe's jerseys, staying on the average
the yellow jerseys.
And so like we were like, did they do that on purpose because they knew that we were coming to town, or no? But it was just a coincidence. And that game I was pitching, and we had like a 6-1 lead, 6-2 lead, and Adam Odd and Noel McGarry Doyle run into each other, and Noel gets hurt, he's out of the game. Odd gets taken out as a precaution, and we were out of players. We had to put Ryan Lacasse, who was a rookie 18-year-old reliever from Sudbury, who has no business playing a position ever. And he would say the same. But we had to put him at second base. And then after that inning, Zach Orchard gets hurt trying to lay down a bunt. And now I got to go play first base straight from the mound because the other option was Josh Matlow. So, so we're finishing this game with a 6-5 lead against Welland in front of a sold-out stadium. And I'm playing first base, and a rookie reliever is playing second base. Our right side of the infield was pitchers. And so we were like, please God, don't hit us the ball, basically.
Like strike him out or hit fly balls, but nothing else.
And I think it was with one out. I can't remember who. I think Morello was at the plate. He hits a ground ball to second, and it's a tailor-made double play. And what does Lacasse do? Just boots it. And he got a little excited. He got a little excited and thought he was going to turn 2, and ended up turning 0. And then we got bailed out.
Fans let him have it.
Yeah, we get bailed out with a caught stealing, and then the game actually ends with a ground ball to Lacasse, which he then throws to me for the final putout. And so we're like, that kind of fight and that kind of magic is different. Like, you don't see that from everybody. Like, not every team could have found a way in that moment, against, especially considering the competition. And yeah, so we did that. Then Welland came to our place next. We beat them 13-3. And then the day after, we shut them out. So like we won 4 straight against them, I think. And that's kind of when we knew, like, okay, things are different. We never expected to go 10-0 and not trail the entire playoffs. That was never an expectation. Until we got to the finals. Then we started really like thinking about it and being like, forget winning a championship. What if we just never trailed? Like, what if we just ran the table completely and left no doubt? And thankfully we were able to pull that off. So it was cool.
Well, moving into this year, I won't go over the numbers too much. In Barrie, you end up.
Please don't.
But I guess maybe just take me behind the scenes, if you will. I know there was a lot of talk in Barrie at the beginning of the season where it was basically they would call it a championship hangover, a slow start, but then they started to kick things up a notch. As a player, what did you kind of see behind the scenes that kind of really got them going in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of like the championship hangover thing. It's like, it's real, but you don't really understand it until you win one. What it's like. Like, it's not like you're hungover or anything like that, but you really do just think that you can show up to the park and beat anyone, and that's just not the case. The league is too good now, especially, to be able to do that. But yeah, like we were very much like, okay, we're just gonna show up, go through the motions. We have enough to win. Like, and so that was kind of how it started. And like we knew that we were underperforming the whole time. Like we knew we were better than what we were showing. So it's no surprise to see them doing what they're doing now. But yeah, like it was kind of one of those things. And then similarly, it was a game against Welland where we're trailing 7-1 in the 7th inning. We come all the way back and walk them off. We walk off Davey Mendez in 10. And so that was kind of the game that turned things around again for the Baycats. So ever since then, they kind of haven't looked back. It's another one of those things where if you talk to anyone on that team, they'll tell you they still haven't played their best, and they're still like searching for their best game, which honestly is like it's concerning if you're the Baycats, but it's terrifying if you're everybody else. So
exactly, because you worry about it. They're going to put it together against your team for crying out loud. It's just like, okay, please don't be tonight. Let the sleeping dogs lie a little bit here, or in this case, let the sleeping cats lie a little bit here, and just try to weed one out of the grass here.
Yeah, I would say the other thing too is that the schedule was such that we managed to get everybody's ace for the first like 2 months, and I think part of that is the
Yeah.
fact that you win a championship and everyone's gunning for you, and they know that like you're the team to beat, so they're going to give you their best. And so every week we're facing an Owen Boone or a Victor Payano or whoever else you want to throw out there, Jacob Cush,
Oh
whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Like
Like, you
we're
guys had
facing
the
everybody's
weirdest.
number one.
Well, you had the weirdest Friday night schedule too. Like you had Hamilton the one week, and then Hamilton at home the next day, and you went to London, and you got Piano like literally the next weekend. And it was like, okay, yeah, like you can't win when those things happen. You're just gonna see everybody's ace, and it's like, how do you get your reps in against a guy that's throwing 95, or he's crafty enough to get you out on any one of his 4 pitches?
Yeah, and the schedule was tough, definitely at the start, but yeah, I mean they've definitely hit their stride. They've won what, like 9 of their last 10, something
Six,
like that.
six, and
So
yeah, they're 9-1 in the last 10 and 6 in a row right now.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So
Well, you end up moving to Guelph very recently. Maybe just take me behind the scenes on just the switch moving from Barrie to Guelph, just for fans that aren't aware of your situation behind the scenes.
yeah, so it's something that I like all season. I've kind of been fighting, like like I don't want to say like be as dramatic as to say like a purpose in baseball, but like it definitely was a bit of a thing after winning a championship because like as I mentioned, that was the big reason I came back, right? So it's like, what am I playing for now? So that was like a part of it, and like I found I had a really hard time with that aspect of things. Um, I also moved to Cambridge back in April. So this entire season I've been driving from Cambridge to Barrie and back for home games. Um,
Oof, that's rough.
yeah, so originally the plan was to only go on the weekend to home games and not go on Thursdays because Frank's pitching and who needs a bullpen when Frank's pitching. Um, but with the way the schedule worked out, there was a lot of times where Frank wasn't throwing on the Thursday, and
Yeah,
Matlow's calling me saying, "Hey, like we have 2 bullpen arms, like can you be there?" And so I'm getting roped into going to the Thursday games. And the other thing too is like I'm the kind of guy that I'm gonna be all in, like I'm gonna be there as much as I can. And if I have nothing better to do that night, I can't possibly rationalize just sitting at home because I don't want to make the drive. So
no,
get my ass in the car, haul up to Barrie, get home at 1:30 in the morning, and do it all again next week.
yep.
And I thought I could do it because last year I did it for Mississauga, but I forgot
Mhm.
that, or not forgot, but I guess I didn't realize the difference that those extra 40 minutes was going to make on a trip
Yeah.
trip by trip basis.
Well, if
And
you're going
yeah,
from
like
Cambridge
it's
to the 401, past that outlet mall, and then the 403, the 401, whatever, turn off there too, and it's just like, yeah, no, but
yeah,
not
no.
my cup
So
of
there
tea.
was so yeah, and then like I was getting there and I was like I was mad when I didn't pitch. I was mad when I pitched because I pitched bad, and like like all stuff that wasn't healthy for me, wasn't healthy for the team, and like it really bled into my performance too because like I was just so
Mhm.
mentally exhausted from like the trip, and like I have a full-time job, and like I have all
Yeah,
this other stuff going on in my life that like it was too difficult at one point. And like it was something that I didn't see a positive conclusion for in Barrie, which is unfortunate because I truly did love all the people there and I loved my time there. Um, but like it was just one of those things that wasn't going to be feasible. So um, I was also at a point where I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to keep playing. I was considering
mhm,
just hanging it up and being like, I'm done. Like I'm not good enough to do this anymore after I go up against Guelph and I walk 3 straight guys, which everybody that I tell that to go, you did what? Like we've never seen you do that before.
yeah,
And so when I'm walking 3 straight guys, I just know that mentally I'm not there. I'm not engaged. And so I needed to figure out whether or not that was because of baseball or whether it was the situation in Barrie or what it was, right? And so I called Josh on Tuesday and I said, can I can I get my release basically? And he's like, is there anywhere you want to go? Like I can help facilitate it. And I said, no, like I just want to kind of sit on the waiver wire and sit on the transactions list. I know people are going to check it. People are going to see who's on there. And I'm going to get
yeah,
like maybe I get a couple messages, maybe I don't. And so, I was sitting there and I was like, listen, man, at the end of the day, like you're not getting much for a reliever who has putting up a 10 ERA at this point, right? Like It's a tough situation. So, and he was gracious enough to give me what I asked for and not put up any fuss about it. He was awesome with me throughout the whole thing. And it was just like it was a respect thing. And he told me, he said, "Listen, like you were a big part of our championship last year, and the least I can do is like give you what you ask for." So he let me go. Next day or that day, I can't even remember anymore. But I got a couple messages from a couple teams in the league, and one of them was Guelph saying, "Hey, what happened?" So I spoke with Ryan Eakin, who I knew from a time when he interviewed me for the Canadian Baseball Network back in 2021. And so like he connected with me, we chatted a little bit. He said, "Hey, why don't you come down for BP, talk to Dino, no commitment whatsoever." And I was like, "Okay, I'm in the area anyway." So I went down to Hastings, talked to Dino during BP, saw a lot of guys that I'd played against my entire life, a couple guys that I'd played with. Carson Burns I played with at the start of last year. Liam Wilson I played with my first year in the IBL. And so like some connections that went way back, and it brought back a lot of memories. And being at Hastings again too, like that was the place where I won my championship the year before. Like it did kind of start to get my mind going quicker than I thought it would. My plan was to take a week away and then kind of see what happens. But anyway, I sat on it for a couple days, and then that was the only place I was even going to consider going because I believe in the roster. I've heard a lot about Dino as well. And while my biggest purpose for playing might not be winning that championship anymore, I still want to win. So I was going to go somewhere where I believe that they could win now, and yeah. So I'm going into it kind of with this idea that we'll see how it goes. Maybe I play again next year. Maybe I don't. We'll see. But so far so good. So nothing to complain about just yet.
Everybody forgets that Liam Wilson played in Hamilton right before he
Yeah, he
played
was
for
a Hamilton
Kitchener.
Cardinal for a brief time.
That was about 3 generations of Cardinals ownership ago, so I can understand why people would forgot.
Yep. And they're still probably kicking themselves about that one still, but that's beside the point.
That's a story for another day.
Yep.
I have a lot to say on that topic, but we'll talk about it another time.
Yep.
So obviously, a couple of seasons ago too, like, we got to know each other quite a bit as well when you were working for the Mississauga Steelheads in the Ontario Hockey League. I guess what's life like outside of baseball for you now?
Yeah, it's different for sure from then. I stepped away from working in sports. I realized that like my passion for sports isn't necessarily my passion for working in sports full time. And I think being back in the IBL and playing definitely helped show me that. The year before I was really missing it, being like not available to a team. I missed being part of that. And so that's kind of filled that aspect of things. In terms of work, I work for Nespresso, so I sell Nespresso to like different businesses, offices, things like that, like the big industrial machines that you see.
Nice.
So yeah, so I do that, and that's been a lot of fun. I've been there since November. In my personal life, I have a girlfriend who I moved to Cambridge with uh, not that long ago, back in April. So that's who I'm here with, and I've adopted a dog now because she had a dog. So that's another thing. Is that was another source of a lot of the stuff with the Barry thing. Is I'm coming home at 1 in the morning, and she's like, they're like, "Can you take him pee?" And I'm like, "I don't want to. I just drove 5 hours." So now and then I have to wake up early because you're like, "Okay, fine. You don't have to take him at night, but you got to take him in the morning." And I don't want to take him in the morning. So, it was just, it's another responsibility that I didn't think I was going to have about a year ago. So,
What kind of dog though? That's the real question for the viewers.
oh man, she tells me the breed. It's a new breed as of like 2 years ago. Like they just got recognized like 2 years ago. But hold on, he's not interested. I was gonna put him
No.
on, but he's not interested. Um, no, he's a little dog. I'll send you guys pictures if you guys wanna see him.
Nice.
But his name's Tugboat. And
Nice.
he's awesome. He's a rescue from Costa Rica. So we we love
That's
him.
amazing.
That's awesome. Um, wait, Costa Rica. Okay, there's a story there. I know I know it was the girlfriend that adopted him, but
Yeah.
there's a story there. I guess what do you know about that process to bring
Yeah.
a dog from Costa Rica here into Canada?
what I know about the process, absolutely nothing. But I'll get my girlfriend on the podcast next time. She can explain it to you.
Okay.
What I'll tell you is that she volunteers for a rescue. And so that's kind of how she got, like, because she sees all these dogs. Like, she's a huge dog person, like loves dogs. And so she like saw like the dog was one of the people through the rescue, and so she was like, he's the cutest dog I've ever seen in my life, I need to have him. And so yeah, so she went through the whole process. There's like a whole interview process, like for adoptions and stuff, like that people have to go through. Like, it's not like adopting a dog from a breeder. Like, you have to be like actually vetted, just to make sure that, you know, you're going to be able to take care of a rescue dog. It's a lot more work than people realize. But yeah, so that's kind of how it went. So she's had him since last February, so about a year and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's obsessed. He's obsessed because like she like right now she's out, and like she'll be out for 10 minutes and he'll just sit at the door and just pout and cry. And so like I felt bad for him for the first like month, and then I'm like, listen, man, you got to get over yourself. She's gonna come home. Like, you're gonna be fine.
She's gotta leave once in a while here. She's gotta go do her thing too. Come on, you can't go everywhere.
Like, how do you think she's going to be able to afford to buy you all the treats you want? All right, like you
Yeah,
gotta let her leave the house.
That's how Ren is, and we got my daughter Gray has got a black lab. She's a service dog, and she does the same thing. She whines at the door, and gets left alone. She's only 5 feet out the door. You can see her from the window. Why are you whining?
She'll go out and grab something from the car, and he's losing his mind. Yeah. I'm like, dude, she's right.
Exactly.
I'm just like that.
Yeah. Like, she'll come up and watch wrestling with me, and then she'll start whining because she wants to go back downstairs. I'm like, what good are you?
Yeah. No, he's a funny dude, but yeah, no, he's great. And so yeah, that's kind of what my personal life looks like, I guess.
All right. So you said you work with Nespresso. I guess very big coffee connoisseur, or kind of recently into it after starting to work for them?
Recently into it, knew very little about coffee. I was always a Tim Hortons coffee guy, just because it was convenient and it was by my house, and so I would just get like a Tim Hortons iced coffee until I started drinking Nespresso, and now I just can't drink Tim Hortons coffee anymore because it's so bad. Sorry. I think I might have just cost you guys a Tim Hortons sponsorship in the future, but
yeah,
no, it's
but if you want to hook up with Nespresso, man, I got no problems with
that. Yeah, let us know. Hit us up.
Yeah. No, but it's good too. Like, they give us a lot of they set me up on my first day with like a coffee machine and like all kinds of sleeves and stuff. So yeah, I've I wouldn't say coffee connoisseur, but definitely leaning into the caffeine addict side of things. So you know, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Someone that woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do morning shows for about 6-7 years, coffee was definitely a part of my life. I needed about 6 or 7 cups. Had to wean myself down to 1 a day after a little bit, but it's tough. I'm actually drinking. I don't know. There's these TikTok trends nowadays where they have like the protein coffee, the Javi iced coffee that show up. I actually have 2 bags. I'm looking at them right now. I ended up biting the bullet and ended up getting those. Those aren't too bad. By the way, Javi, this is not a promotion. This is not an endorsement. Just saying. First try, it's not bad.
I'm just wondering how you know about this TikTok trend. Like, are you like super active on TikTok?
What's going on here, Mr. Gary? We got some explaining to do.
Well, I started really getting into it after the IBL started doing some more stuff on TikTok. Neil,
and you ended up on coffee TikTok from the IBL. Right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
The scapegoat.
Yeah. Blame the league.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Blame the league.
Well, other than that, I mean, obviously you have a year under your belt of doing the same thing that the 3 of us have been doing. Was there anything from that process you and the stuntman took away from that experience of just just being an interviewer, being a podcaster, just and putting your name out there, if you will, a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like ultimately it was fun more than anything else. Like, it was a way to stay engaged with the league and like talk about it and stuff. And like, listen, I loved when people had opinions, whether they hated it or liked what I was saying.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people in the league that weren't fond of what I had to say. I also know there was a lot of people that loved it. So And Farrington knows exactly who I'm talking about when I say there's a lot of people who.
He will not be named, but we know exactly who it is.
There's a couple of
The
specific.
second question.
There's a couple of specific people. There's one specific person. Anyway.
Moving on.
Anyway, sorry, not to get you guys in trouble, but no, it was awesome. It was fun. In terms of like actually like learning stuff, like of course, man, like it's like anything, right? The more you practice, the better you get at it. And so like practicing interviewing, you know, whether it's Eric Spearin or whether it was Ryan Rio, Byron Reichstein, like, you know, like it was easier for me because I knew a lot of these people, to like, because I already had that rapport, but it was cool. And it helped us like learn also like how to build a podcast, kind of taught us a little bit about what it would be like to have a podcast that people actually listen to, you know, because everyone and their mom has a podcast, but yeah, so it was cool to have something that like we got feedback from that the guys in the league, like for the most part, like I joke, but like for the most part, guys have given me really positive feedback on it and said that they loved it. It gave them something to listen to. Adam Kahn, actually, shout out Adam Kahn. He told me that he loved listening to it. He said he would listen to it at work all the time and like just when he was out doing whatever. So no, it was good. I was glad to kind of like start this side of things where it was like people covering league, because I was like, listen, like this is a league that people do actually go to the games and people do watch and pay attention to. Like, why don't we try to promote it more? Why don't we try to make it a little bit bigger, right? And so initially it was supposed to be the I don't know if I've ever told anyone this. Initially it was supposed to be the official podcast of the IBL, and it was going to get put on the website and stuff. And we lasted about 2 episodes before I said something about the umpires in the league, and then I got a call from the people at the league saying, "Hey, you either got to stop talking about the umpires like that, or we can't be affiliated with you. You can still do it, but we just can't be affiliated." And I said, "I'd rather not be affiliated and be able to say whatever I want." So, like that was my perspective, right? It was, and I thought it was fair. Like I thought I was very fair with my critiques for the most part. Sometimes it was a little more blunt than others. Sometimes it was a little more mean. But you know, the other thing I want people to understand too is that part of this is entertainment, right? Like, do I like, are my opinions authentic? Yes. Am I playing it up a little bit for the show? Of course, right? And so like, yeah, like I'm very passionate about the game. I'm passionate about the league. And so like that really bled through on the podcast, I thought, which I was proud of. But yeah, like when I was being harsh like that, yeah, there was a couple times where I may have gone a little bit further because I thought it was good for the show. So, but no, it was good. And one of the other things you learn is where the line is, right? Like what's appropriate, what's inappropriate. You know, and yeah, it was a good time. We really enjoyed it.
All right, last one from me. You still keep in touch with Andrew Stewitz? I know he works with Village Media now, but do you still keep in touch with him from time to time?
Every once in a while, yeah, we chat. I told him about Guelph. I gave him a call and we chatted about it. So he messaged me too, like congratulations and stuff. Like every time he sees something about me or about the IBL or whatever, he'll hit me up. And you know, sometimes we'll talk about MLB The Show, like just like whatever. Like he loves that game, and so we'll talk about that. So yeah, we keep in touch every once in a while. Obviously, not as much as we did when we like did a podcast together and went to school together, but. Yeah, no, Andrew's always going to be a good buddy of mine, so I look forward to seeing him again.
Nice. So, since you brought something up, I got a question for you now.
We're getting into this part. This is the After Dark part of the podcast.
No.
Oh, here we go.
This is a very professional.
This is IBL After Dark now.
No, this is a professional question. So, from you when you were on the podcast, saying what you wanted to say, did you feel any remorse when you came back to play and kind of say, hey, I regret saying that, or I fully believe that, I'm proud of what I said, and just now still playing or going back to the league, having to not deal with the ramifications, but like, I don't know, just it's a tough question to ask, but like, did you feel like any like half, responses back to the feeling or no?
If I think so, And I know you kind of talk. I think you asked the question and then you talked yourself out of the
Yeah.
question.
It's a broken
Yeah.
question. Broken question.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm gutting at though.
Yeah. Basically saying like, do I regret anything that I have to say on
Yeah.
the podcast? I know I said that I played stuff up, but I don't regret anything I said. I fully believe
Yeah.
every word that I said on there. I listened to every episode afterwards. There were a couple times where I was like, okay, that might get taken out of context or whatever. But like at the end of the day, like I have to stand by my word. I have to stand by what I believe, and I wouldn't have said it into a microphone if I didn't believe it. Because I know people are listening and I know people are paying attention and I know that people aren't going to forget it. Especially certain people. And so no, I don't feel bad for any of that. Like the couple of episodes where I went in that direction, I got feedback from people saying that they like they agreed with me or whatever, or that like I was fair even if they didn't agree with me. So yeah, like I do remember there was one where I went after, first of all, I went after every team in the league at some point, but there was one time where I went after Welland and kind of talked about Essery and a few of the things that were going on there that I didn't really love that were happening. And me and Essery actually talked about it at the finals or semifinal, whenever I saw him again. And he was like, listen, man, like I love all of it. Like I get it. Like you have a job to do, like what you're saying, like, I don't take any of it personally. Like I totally get it. Like this is part of being a manager, is like I have to, not everyone's going to agree with what I do. Not everyone's going to agree with what our team does. But like we appreciate that you're talking about it, and like, so that was also really good for me to hear. And Matt Lowe, same thing with the average thing. He said the reason he was so mad about it was because I was right. That they were that average at the start of the season and he knew they were better. So yeah, I think that like for the most part, people thought that I was fair and that like my opinions were valid. I think that, I always try to say the quiet part out loud. Like I don't like to like beat around the bush or, like try to like my job's not to make you feel better. My job's to tell you how I feel about what's going on. And so I felt like I did that. Sometimes it was positive, sometimes it was negative. Um, Sometimes it may have felt like an attack on someone's character. But yeah, like I also want people to understand that it was all baseball. Like it was always about baseball. It was never personal necessarily. But yeah, I stand by everything that I said.
You answered it way better than me asking the question. So.
That's all right. When you come back in a year and you do it from the other side after a year doing it on the podcast, you'll get there.
Hey, you can't be saying that out loud. Come back, saying that out loud. On the inactive.
Oh no, I said the loud part silent and the silent part loud.
Yeah. You know what? This isn't my podcast, so I won't go as far as to do what I used to do. But if it was, I'd have a lot more to say.
That's totally fair.
Quick story, if we have some time.
Yeah.
About my first outing in Welland. So, or against Welland, I should say. Yeah. So like obviously, like I talked about how I like kind of was in the spot where like I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next year. So when I came to Guelph, my initial thought was I'm done after this year. I'm gonna finish out the year close to home. If I'm gonna play, I want to play somewhere where my family and my girlfriend and everyone can come and watch me play as much as possible. And I also knew that Guelph had a need. They don't have a lefty in the bullpen right now, right? Like I am the lefty, so I was looking forward to that. But yeah, so I go there and I don't know if the plan was for me to pitch in that first game. I don't think it was, because I think we were short against Barrie and they wanted me to throw on Thursday. But we get into a spot where bases are loaded, our pitcher's having a tough time finding the zone, and Dino looks at me and he goes, "Hey, go down to the bullpen." And I'm like, "Oh shit, it's happening." So I run to the bullpen, walk to the bullpen, and throw about 8 baseballs, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, because that's what you do is, are you ready? The answer is always yes. Like if you want to pitch. So I'm ready to go. Dino makes the walk out to the mound. I'm running in, and I notice the situation, and the situation is that the bases are loaded. There's nobody out. We're down by 2, and Grayson Barrett's at the plate. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Grayson Barrett's history against me, but let's just say I'm surprised he didn't ask me to throw him baseballs at the home run derby, because he's had 4 at-bats against me, and I hit him once, and every ball that he's put in play has left the yard. So He's 3 for 3 with 3 homers against me going into that. I couldn't believe he didn't call me, honestly. Like, I'm almost offended. Anyway, so I go out to the mound, and I'm thinking, and like, like as a player, like, when a guy has your number and like whatever. So like, I'm trying to learn from my previous at bats. I kind of have a plan this time as to how to go after him, and I end up striking him out. And I hear from Ricky Pilateri. He goes, "Don't worry, he still owns you." And I'm like, "Whatever, Ricky." And yeah, so and then Gio goes, and then Gio was standing at third base, and he joked that I had exercised some demons with that one, and because it had become a running joke between the two teams, and like when I hit him, actually, it was the 4th at bat after he'd hit 3 home runs, and Ricky said, he goes, "Well, it's better than him putting the ball in play off you." So, but yeah, so I struck him out, and then Gio says that, and I turned to him and I said, "Must have been the jersey. It must have been the uniform. He owns me in Baycats blue, but he doesn't own me in Royals blue." So that was when I did that, and then I gave up a hit. Porcelado almost took my head off right after that, but end up getting out of the inning fairly easily, and then 2 scoreless in Barrie against my former team. A lot of hitters that are excellent hitters, and so it kind of got me thinking, like, man, like, maybe I still got it, like maybe I can still do this thing at a high level. So yeah, to be determined. We'll see how the rest of the year goes, but not in that space where it's definitely over for me anymore. I'll put it that way.
Well, whenever it does end up being over for you, I think the 4 squares look very nice for another season of the IBL Inside Pitch. So seats always open for you, Chris, if and when you end up hanging up the cleats in your baseball career, but not saying it's going to be anytime soon. Hopefully you have a successful time with the Guelph Royals, and not only this season, but beyond that. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and all the best with your new team, the Guelph Royals.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Chris Lazar of the Guelph Royals. This has been another edition of the IBL Inside Pitch.